Um, so very important thing, which I was leaving. We need a place to film this. Who's like got like potentially like an apartment that is like convenient for everyone to get to that they're okay having stuff filmed in.
If it's an outdoor place, there's a lot of space in my backyard. I currently live at my parents' house.
Mhm.
Um, I live in Braintree. I don't know. I know it's farther outside of the city. I assume that most of you guys are around the Boston, Cambridge area. Um, but yeah.
Outdoor is okay to shoot in. It's just then we become the only issue with outdoor is we become constrained by the lights, and so that can get pretty hard.
My apartment probably isn't great for filming. I'd also have to check in with my roommates, but I live in Inman and I'm next to a large open field as well as a bunch of like really small one-way streets. And it's very close. It's right between Inman and Kendall, so there are some jank looking brick buildings and apartment buildings in case we want that as a setting.
Hell yeah, love that.
I have I have an apartment that has a specific vibe, so I don't know exactly if the interior of my apartment would look great, but there's a parking lot at my apartment and there's a lot of really interesting locations nearby. I'm right next to they're building condos, but they're really early in like the developing. So there's a construction site next door. There's across the street a whole park that has two baseball fields, a park, a football field, like a legit football field, and a pool. And it's also down the street, there's a cemetery. So there's a lot of different like options over where I am, and it has parking at least.
Do you still have the construction happening next to you?
Yes, but the construction does not happen on the weekends.
But like I'm saying, like as the like potential location.
I mean, yeah, it's right next door to me. I don't know if you could film in front of it or something. I guess we
Mhm.
can take that into consideration if that's something that we want to explore later.
Yeah.
I'm near Tufts campus. I'm in Somerville, so there are a lot of just different looking locations around Somerville.
Mhm.
I can also offer mine, but it's kind of a pain to get to if you're in the city and don't have a car. There's a parking lot. Some of you know what my home looks like, but yeah, we also have a park and a lot of parking, but there's not much else around other than, you know, my house. I'm in Waltham, so it's more like suburban-y if that's what we're going for too. But
Mhm.
you know,
I mean, yeah, we have no idea where we're gonna be or like what we need. So, David, I don't know what your place is like if you have any like versatility there, but
Um, I know Diego could attest. I have an interesting place. The only downside is that I live in the North Shore. So I'd be kind of out of the way for most people, I think. But the place is pretty cool and it is by the water. Um, and there's several amenities sort of in the area, but I'd say it's probably more of a desperation sort of place, just considering where everyone is in relativity to the city.
Mhm.
I
I'd
do
s-
think that at my apartment you could use the kitchen. I have a really big, nice looking kitchen that you could
mhm.
fit like a lot of equipment in if need be.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say like because I've been to both your place. I think um of like our options here, either Mitchell or Sam, like either your places would be perfectly ideal for us to film in. And Mitchell, I'm leaning towards if it's all right with you, I'm leaning towards your place because you've got that pink bathroom, which I feel like could have some really great shots in it.
I do have a Barbie bathroom. That is in fact true. Pink tile, pink toilet, pink tub, pink sink, all from the 50s, and I pay way too much for this place.
We filmed the whole thing in the bathroom.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I don't know if you could fit more than two people in that bathroom, but it is
We'll,
hilarious.
we can try.
we'll find a way.
I'm small. I can fit in your medicine cabinet.
I'm tiny.
Um,
Just throw me in a suitcase and I'll fit. Boom.
yeah, so I'm unless anyone has any objections to this, I'm leaning towards Mitchell's place, which like I said is in Somerville. Um, cool, thumbs up all around. Love that. Love that. Um,
It's on Alewife Brook Parkway, so it's a weird turn in, but I do have a lot. My landlord is like cool with like whoever parking here. So, and like I said, there's a lot of locations nearby.
mhm. Oh, by the way, I from what I heard, they were unavailable, but feel free to let Danielle and I can't believe I'm blanking on his name and I feel like a terrible person.
Joe.
Joe, feel free to let either of them know if they're around. They're welcome to hop in with us. Um,
Yeah, Danielle might be. Joe is probably going to be working, but
mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard from both of them. Um, yeah, hell yeah. Cool. So we got location, we have things. Yeah, does anyone have any like questions about the 48 or anything? What's up, Jasmine?
I got two questions. One is when would we be meeting? Well, okay. First would be no, I like when would be like when would we meet in person to start everything? And when would the genre meeting happen for you?
So the genre meeting happens for me just before 7:30, which is the official start. So they like there's like I said the prop, the line dialing one, that's a thing that everyone needs. So they literally wait until 7:30 to drop that to everyone. So yeah, right around 7:30, I am going to like message everyone, hey, this is what we got and stuff. Yeah. If anyone, I mean, if anyone wants, I will say like, if people want to be there for the meeting with me, they're fine with like every the team being in the same room for it. They just only want like one person joining the Zoom call. Um, but yeah, no, as long as just one person joining the Zoom call, they don't really care. In fact, that might actually, I'm trying to think if it's worth our time. It might actually be helpful to do that just to like, in terms of getting started, like, well, Isaac, I know you won't be around, but like Mitchell, I don't know if like you would like want to like meet up with me that day, just so, like we could get like started right off the bat, and like we can like chit chat with everyone else, like the genres and stuff.
Sorry, are do you mean that you would come over here and we would just like brainstorm here or
Yeah,
something?
exactly.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I have a whiteboard here, so
Love that.
we could use my little whiteboard.
Only if we end up looking like Charlie in that one scene after we're done with it.
Yeah, Pepe Silvia all over.
Hmm. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Unless anyone has anything else, 48 or otherwise, to add to this.
I just want to check in for my own sake about the logistics of editing
Mhm.
because I heard Isaac with a C and Diego mention that there was a system that worked with Premiere Project sharing last time. And I just want to make sure there's nothing I should make sure that I have or am familiar with, or like if there's a what that system works and
Mhm.
how the system works and whatnot. Um, yeah, if there's just a rundown of that, that'd be super helpful before we scoot.
Yeah, we can maybe throw something together. The only thing that's important is that we're all using the same version of Premiere. So,
Got
um,
you.
for assuming that none of us are running particularly old hardware, easiest thing is probably just be on the most recent update. Other
Sounds
than
good.
that, it's just a matter of sharing. Was it through email, right?
Yeah,
And
it
that,
was if you have an Adobe account, we can like share through email
yeah,
and
it'll send an invitation, and then um, it's the way it works. It's not automatic like Google Drive. It's basically just a second step after saving your project is you also upload the changes that you've made, and that allows everyone else to download it. But it's in the same drop down menu, I believe, as saving the project. So not very complicated. It's just an extra step to keep in mind. Otherwise, yeah, it'll be an invite that is sent out.
My only th so
Rock
like
on.
it was kind of like an evolving process for us where like we were just kind of like figuring out what was the most efficient way, and I think we were in a good spot by the end of it, kind of like figuring out how we wanted to work, and we just kind of split up the film into two parts between me and Diego, and we just each were making our own separate movie that like then we combined and meshed together. Um, so
Got
if
you.
we split it into three parts, that makes it way easier and quicker. The only part of the process that I feel we didn't quite, I feel have an efficient way to work with, and David, actually, I'd love if you like have any like opinions on this, is like getting the sound in there. I feel like we like had a bit of trouble like efficiently like figuring out our way to like edit in the sound while we were doing all our video editing. In your experience with doing the post process, I don't know if you'd have any suggestions for us working with you for that.
Yeah, I guess my initial idea, while not having a ton of sort of film editing experience, would be taking sort of an initial cut of the audio, um, and sort of like time stamping it based off of scenes or um, sort of the general progression flow of the film, and then moving it into sort of a separate piece of software like a audio workstation to
Mhm.
actually go about mixing it and mastering it to an extent, and then re-uploading it back into Premiere, and sort of trying to match it based off of the time stamping that we do, and vice versa. If that kind of is what the solution kind of we're looking for.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
there's going to be a way for I think I don't think there's going to be a way for us to work around audio having to lag a little bit behind us, because you can't really match the audio until all the video editing is done. I think it's just a matter. I remember last time we ran into the issue where some audio files just, whether it was from our end or our editor's end, I think it was from our end, just
Didn't make it
got
in.
lost into the ether at some point, and that became a whole thing of like, oh cool, we're missing a section of um of mastered audio, and we spent a while looking for it. So I think just being on top of that, and um making sure that one of the first things we do is strip the audio from everything that we have, and then just giving it to David right off the bat so that multiple copies of it exist. And then yeah, as soon as we feel like we're done with any section, we can probably just send that bit over, for the purpose of, of syncing. Of course, after, all the mastering is done. So that's just my opinion on it, have the audio sent over as soon as possible so that mastering can be, one of the first steps that happens. And then syncing is just a matter of syncing and not simultaneously like mastering and syncing.
Um, oh, I will mention, by the way, in terms of that and speeding up that process, one of the things that I wish we had last year that I don't know if there's any particular person to do this. It might just kind of be who's ever free at as we're shooting scene to scene, because I don't want to stretch anyone too thin. But if like someone who's ever like free when we're like shooting is able to act essentially as like a PA and just like take notes on like what we're shooting and stuff, and as in like how the take went, that's going to speed us up also in terms of like editing and getting sound and stuff, because then we'll like have all our information and can speed up that process. So yeah, who's ever free would love someone to like be taking notes on that for us.
When you, oh, sorry. If if Sam's not available, or if something's, or if she's busy with something, are you talking more of like kind of like ASM kind of stuff, or like stage
Yeah.
manage? Okay. All right. I can also help with that.
Mhm. No, and I was aware of that like ahead of time, that you also had the experience, but I had a feeling with the way the cookie was going to come out, I was going to need you more to be an actor than be able to like have you as ASM. But yeah, just the way like it fell. Unless we can find somewhere in the ether someone can find an actor last second, which I don't think is happening at this point, but anyways, the other thing is we also, whoever is free, and this can literally be anyone, is taking just like behind the scenes shots. So like we all have our great shots from behind the scenes that we can maybe even put in the credits and stuff, or wherever you want to like post them and that kind of thing. I've got you can use your phone camera, that's whatever, or I do also have just a spare camera I use specifically for photography that can be used for that. Yeah. That's everything though. Yeah. Any more questions? Anyone got anything?
Um, this just came to mind. Because it ended up being a point of contention last year, should we perhaps set specific time frames for food breaks and such?
Yeah, we definitely can.
I think we should, because I recall last year it became a major issue on, when people decided to take their food breaks and it not being ideal for other people.
Mhm.
So I think if everyone is kind of on the same page on that kind of thing, that would be great. And that's not to say that like if someone decides we can like decide if individuals do want to split off and do things at slightly different times, then we can communicate that. But generally for the sake of having a schedule, like doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Also
we had
just
a
so that
rough
everyone
schedule last
actually
year.
eats.
Yeah,
Huh?
no, I would having everyone fed and like, hydrated is like one of the most important things.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year we did definitely have on the schedule a like lunch break. It was just like our filming got like us so delayed from it. So would
Yeah.
love to like not do that.
Yeah, I also recall from the editing day there were there was
We
some
will
there were
we will
some
have
issues that we ran into.
we will have a specific time for editing because like
Yeah,
oh, that's gonna be the last day we're gonna definitely need to like eat and stuff.
yeah. So that's all just as a suggestion that like we have a light schedule, flexible schedule for stuff, just so everyone has an idea of like when we're gonna be, finding a good stopping point to like take a short break and then get back into it kind of deal.
Yeah, I have last year's schedule that we did, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna like reassess it, like see what needs to be changed, and I'll like send it out to everyone and see if we're all happy with it. And like I said, I don't think it was that far off of kind of like where it needed to be what we had last year, just needs to be a little bit refined, but
Yeah.
so all right, cool. Well, yeah, if no one has any more questions about the 48 or whatnot, yeah, I can all head off and see y'all at next Friday. Gonna be a time. Cool.
It'll be 48 hours of time.
Exactly.
Hopefully with sleep in between.
Where will we be meeting on Friday?
Friday will be just an on Zoom meet outside of like anyone who's like on the writing team.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, lovely meeting everyone.
Likewise.
Nice to meet
Nice
y'all.
to see you
Looking
all.
forward to
Excited
it.
to work with you.
Mhm. Gonna be so fun, y'all. We're gonna have such a time.
It's gonna be a blast.
Can't wait.
Have a good night, everybody.
Oh, I guess this is a very small question I should ask just ahead of time. Does anyone like have any like dietary restrictions, or like do y'all just like want to do like a pizza just split for food just to keep it easy?
I mean, I'm lactose intolerant, but I still eat dairy, so
Okay. So you'll be fine if we got a pizza.
yeah, no, I'll be fine.
Okay.
If we do end up filming at my house, there are two grocery stores within walking distance. There's a Stop and Shop and a Whole Foods.
And I got
So
food stamps, and
that's
they take food stamps, so
exactly. So those are good locations to eat.
Mhm. Hell yeah. Cool. If no one has anything else for me, I'm gonna let y'all go. Gonna be a time. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Night, y'all.
Bye,
Likewise.
all.
Thank you guys.